This is Public Access Signals from the Other Side, Part 2. We're going to dive right into recapping last time. So we introduced the game last time, and we learned about the Deep Lake Latchkeys, and we learned that you are in the town of Deep Lake, New Mexico, which is where you all spent part of your childhood. You're here investigating the disappearance of a television station called TV Odyssey. This is a literal disappearance. The station vanished, and no one in town remembers it, or they will not talk about it. Or I should say, they don't remember it, or they're not talking about it. Connected to TV Odyssey are these tapes called the Odyssey tapes. These Odyssey tapes are collector's items for people who can get their hands on them. They have strange physical properties in terms of how they can be watched and when. And they contain episodes of shows that aired on public access. They are indeed the only physical evidence, or that aired on TV Odyssey. They are the only physical evidence of TV Odyssey. And you all came to Deep Lake. I'm imagining, I don't know this for sure, but I imagine you probably came to Deep Lake just like for the fun of it, not thinking you were going to really like discover anything, because you all met on this forum. But in fact, somebody dropped off an Odyssey tape for you, which you watched. It was disturbing. And you also had another mystery in Deep Lake fall into your laps, which is the house on Escondido Street. A young man, Casey Wilcox, came to you all and told you the story about this family, the Rappaports, who disappeared from their house on Escondido Street back in 1994, which is 10 years before this. And he was friends with Elliot Rappaport, one of two, possibly three Rappaport children. We'll talk about that in a bit. And so you decided to look into this while you're here. This is your first mystery. It does have a question associated with it, which is what happened to the Rappaports? It's a complexity 6 in game terms. It allows you to resolve the mystery by revealing the truth to Casey Wilcox. Then, if you wish, you can destroy the house at 18 Escondido Street or perform a ritual to banish the evil that resides there. Oh yeah, the house is evil. So a few little things happened in connection to that, but one interesting thing is that Sean's former boyfriend, Mark, might be in town. We don't know yet for sure, but he was in the house on 18 Escondido Street and behaving very strangely. Sean did not actually see Mark, but Ashley did. And that is a sort of a thing that's like hanging out in space right now. Also, in the neighborhood, you have encountered Patience Head, who is the local HOA president and kind of a snoop. You have 3, possibly 4 clues right now for the house in Escondido Street. I'm not going to go through them, but one of those clues you have to follow up on by going to the basement of 18 Escondido Street. And so that's one thing to be aware of. Taking a look at the Latchkeys, there are a few conditions on the table. Ashley's in good shape, and Nathan just has unsettled. That's an unhelpful one, though. Christopher and Sean, on the other hand, have quite a few conditions, and that's going to kind of segue nicely into the next part of the game, which is we'll have a discussion about how to get these conditions cleared. But for now, we're in the day phase, and this is not the next day. This is probably like 2 or 3 days after the events of last time. Does anybody have any questions before we begin? Okay.
Just want to check really quickly. We are all sort of aware of the clues that we found, right? We don't have to like in character.
You don't have to in character talk about it. It's assumed. The only thing that like contravenes that is if you specifically say, I'm not telling the others about this. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, it's assumed you always share everything. That's a good question, though. Okay, then. If you haven't done so already, if you didn't do so last time, you're able to change your Dawn questions as well. Your Dawn questions are how you get experience points, so just be mindful of that. And so it's the day phase. Because there are less than 3 active mysteries, I will introduce a brand new one. You can follow along on the mysteries section of the Character Keeper. Our new one, is called the Deep Lake Lurker. I'm going to cough real quick. The Deep Lake Lurker. For the working families of Deep Lake, summer means tourist money and sending kids to Pine Rock Ridge, a sleepaway camp on the other side of the lake, the eponymous lake. Generations of children gossiped in its wooden cabins and roasted s'mores over campfires, the four of you included. In 1993, however, 12-year-old Jessica Stosky disappeared while out swimming. She was the fourth camper who had gone missing in as many years, the others being Johnny Green Jr., Carlos Sanchez, and Lizzie Lewis. Like them, her body was never found. Pine Rock Ridge was forced to shut down soon after the incident, sued into financial oblivion by Jessica's father, Harvey Stosky. The cold case of the Pine Rock Ridge campers is now more myth than tragedy, especially among elementary school students. Every year, children pass down the tale of Jessica Stosky drowned by the Deep Lake Lurker. Some claim the Deep Lake Lurker is Deep Lake's own Loch Ness monster. Others say the lurker is the previous victim, bound in the lake until they pull another victim to the bottom to take their place. The children's tale gained traction in conspiracy theory circles when Pine Rock Ridge recently opened back up under new management, and it gained the attention of you all when camp counselor Emily Beaumont stopped by the house on Rodenbecker Street asking you to look into the disappearance of her former best friend, Jessica Stosky. I'm now going to pose a question to Sean. You know the lurker is real because you were almost drowned by it, though you didn't get a good look. Why are you still alive?
The quick actions of the lifeguard at the time managed to rescue me.
Very good. We have a question here to start. Is the Deep Lake Lurker some sort of horrid beast, or is it a transformed Jessica Stosky? Answering the question correctly opens up the next question. There's something down there. It grabbed Sean. And Emily Beaumont has asked you to look into it. So that's where we're at. Now let's talk about the day phase and what everyone wants to do. So the session 2 day phase is always a little different than the session 1 day phase, because now you have a bunch of conditions piled up. Some of you anyway. And the way you can clear those conditions is the nostalgic move. When you have an intimate moment with another latchkey, while one of you is waxing nostalgic about something that takes you back, you may each clear an appropriate condition. If you're not the latchkey waxing nostalgic, you also stumble on a clue relevant to one of the mysteries. You tell me what the clue is. The clue cannot conclusively solve the mystery by itself, or I should say answer a question by itself. That's the real way of putting it. But in any case, that's one thing you can do, is try to get some conditions cleared by having nostalgic scenes with other people. Alternatively, you can continue your investigations. You still have not really gone into the house itself, the house on Escondido Street. That still has to be done. And now you have this new thing, the Deep Lake Lurker. I can give you some leads there if you want, but your best lead is to go to the camp. So that's probably what I would do. Alternatively, you might focus on one of your dawn questions so that you get to answer it positively or affirmatively. Or maybe you can just kind of work that into your scene in general. If you're very clever, you can do all three, right? Maybe have a waxing nostalgic while you're walking to the lake or whatever. So who wants to, well, let's just go around the table. Nathan, what are you interested in doing today?
I think Nathan's had a couple of weird nights. I think if I'll pick Sean to do a nostalgic move with, maybe.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah.
What's the scene? Where's it going to be?
It's going to be at Rodenbecker Street. I think what Nathan is up to is he kind of set up maybe it's in his bedroom or maybe it's like another kind of open room here, but like he set up some of his like art supplies there, and he's pulled up his tapes of old Joy of Painting Bob Ross episodes, and he's just kind of like doing some like landscape wet painting just to like really just kind of just do something because he's feeling not super great.
This is fun. Let's just have the scene.
Yeah, I think Nathan would be alone at first, so Sean, you can like walk in at any point. Nathan would just be kind of just standing there with his like, he's like set up like, you know, the really like crappy cheap Hobby Lobby easel stand thing.
Oh boy.
I think Sean is going to be. I forget. Is this house? Does this house have multiple floors, or is this ranch style too?
We never decided. Oh no, it does have multiple floors. Yeah, we have a picture of it. So yeah.
I think Sean will be kind of wandering around the house a little, clearly frustrated before finding the perfect door door frame, and it's Nathan's room, and he's going to walk and knock on the wall beside the open door and say, "Hey, you mind if I set this up here?" And he'll hold out one of those over the door pull-up bars.
What is that for, like chin-ups or something?
Yeah.
This is like here has to be
This
here.
is like the one that I'm not worried about pulling down.
Sure, go for it. Yeah, just you don't mind, do you?
Oh no, I don't care. I can face the other way if you want, if you don't want me seeing your happy little treats.
I don't particularly care.
Cool.
You
Cool.
just
Right
what
on.
you just do is this the workout of choice? Just doing free doorway pull-ups is like, I thought like that doesn't seem like it's exactly the most conducive to keeping fit and healthy. I would imagine like a gym membership, but I haven't really seen a gym in Deep Lake to begin with, so that's kind of I guess answered my own question. Great.
Yeah, there's that. And also I'm just a little tired of the kettlebells. And as he's talking, he'll be starting his workout and say, so the lake.
Yeah, the lake. I did you go there?
I did.
Not exactly the best way to spend a summer, but I mean, it was pretty.
You gonna paint that?
Well, no, I'm not gonna. I think when he says that, then he realized that he has been like subconsciously painting a Deep Lake landscape. He goes, yeah, I think that was just kind of on the mind. It's kind of weird. I haven't been to the lake since we moved here, and still remember it just kind of perfectly. Why not? It's in my head. Something at least.
Oh, leaves an impression.
Thanks. Yeah, I don't get to do a lot of this kind of painting at my job, so kind of nice to have a moment to, I don't know, just paint like this. Did you ever watch Joy Painting? Was that everything that you kind of did as a kid, or were you more of like a football and Fago kind of kid?
Lacrosse, actually, but yeah. No, Bob Ross was a little too sedate for my liking. Cool guy, but
Yeah,
I
actually tried to perm my hair like him once.
how'd that work out?
Did not.
Should try it again.
No, I'm perfectly happy with the way my hair is now, and yeah. So like, what's I think Nathan is like, this is a conversation between two people who are. Nathan is just doing his best to not look at Sean as he's like just focusing and just in the periphery, just chin ups in the background. Nathan just kind of like at one point though, just kind of has to like set his brush down and will look at Sean and just be like, so I heard that the house, we didn't really get to talk a lot about it yet, about what you guys saw there. you didn't really go that far into it, but from what I understand, it was like weird.
Sean's gonna drop from the bar and gonna say, well, yeah, weird's a good word. Ashley saw someone in the house who wanted to play a trick on me.
Why would they want to play a trick on you?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Okay. Well, like, I was thinking about going over there today. I mean, yeah, the stuff with the lake is very interesting, but honestly, I kind of never went back to that camp for, good reason. Not exactly an outdoors guy, and I think that probably, unless it's absolutely necessary, I think I'm gonna go poke around that house today. So, what? Some dude like squatting there playing a trick on you, or are these some like local kids? I just don't want to end up, getting, I don't know, knifed in a basement or something like that. I'd rather avoid that, honestly. Not exactly why I moved out here.
Yeah, no, that's not a good note to hit on the vacation, but yeah, I'll go with you. I
Sure.
kind of want to know what's going on there.
And well, I don't know what the others are up to, but sure, I think that we can plan for that. I have nothing. Never mind. I'll tell you about it later. Yeah.
Let's check in on the
So
move here. Do we think that we've cleared conditions?
I think Nathan's a little less unsettled. It's nice to have a human interaction.
Yeah, I can buy that. What about you, Sean?
Probably less rattled feeling, especially if someone's going to the house with him.
Yeah, I'll take that. And Sean, because it wasn't your thing that takes you back, you get to stumble on a clue in this scene as well, either related to the Deep Lake Lurker or to the house on Escondido Street, and you get to define it. Maybe the clue is in the painting that Nathan is doing.
That's what I was
right,
thinking.
about the lake,
Terrifying.
right?
Terrifying.
Yeah. Anyway, think about it. Ashley, what do you want to do today?
I don't have any conditions, so I think instead I will probably go to the camp and see what's up.
And Topher?
I was thinking similarly. I was thinking maybe since Ashley is going to be going to the camp as well, we could have a nostalgic move on the way there, and I could clear one of my conditions that might be very unfortunate for me to have.
As a reminder, I have a move that if you do a nostalgic move with me, you get to clear 2 conditions or take a
Ooh.
condition, but then you can clear it to get an advantage later on.
I like that.
That sounds good. So, like, on the way, that sounds really good. You can probably walk to the lake, I think, if you wanted to. But if you want to go in a car, you can go in a car. What do you think?
Oh, Ashley's
think
walking. We're
Yeah,
walking.
no, I think a
we
walk
gotta
sounds
walk,
nice.
right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, we gotta do it old school style. Ashley has a backpack on that has like snacks and stuff, like exactly how you would have gone as a kid, like like we're being sent to the camp. And I think as for walking, we'll see Ashley is just sort of like looking around on the road, and suddenly she goes like, oh, "That's the one!" And she will rush out and grab this beautiful, like very polished rock that she found. She'll be like, "Topher, you need to fight one too. You gotta sacrifice this to the lurker so it doesn't take you. Here, you can have mine."
Like otters, right? Otters, they have like rocks that they put in their they have little armpit pouches.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't have an armpit pouch, but I do have a jacket pocket, so hopefully that'll work for now.
I
And
feel like it should.
yeah, she kind of just puts it in there and pats it and says, "I will make sure to guard this with my life."
Okay, you do that because otherwise, and I'll like lunge at you and be like, "The lurker will take you."
He kind of squeals a little bit. I wasn't expecting you to jump at me.
I'm sorry.
No,
But
it's
not really, because it was cute.
all right. Well, anyways,
Did that never? They didn't do this to you. That's like 101 camp going.
Well, I mean, no, I've always been a little jumpy, so people definitely like to scare me when I was at camp. There was a lot of Deep Lake Lurkers talk.
Yeah.
No, I'm glad that you're coming with me though. I don't know how much you really picked up on it, but I kind of the lake was weird last time I went out to it. I didn't really put this even in the blog post because it kind of felt a little too unbelievable even for Deep Lake, you know.
What happened?
So I have this thing about reflections ever since I was little, and well, one of the I think TV Odyssey probably caused it actually, and I don't know, something about the lake. I went up to it to. I love the sounds and the smell of the water and everything like that. It's really peaceful and calming. I walked up to it and well, everyone has a reflection, right?
Mhm.
Mine in the water, it sort of looked like, you know, when you're trying to plug in like old computer or something, right? Play like Rogue or play, you know, Oregon Trail or something like that. When you plug it in, and sometimes when you try and get the picture working, all of that color and that static starts kind of overtaking everything if you don't really get the cables in right, you know. It was sort of like when I looked into the lake, someone, I guess, unplugged me, if that makes sense. It felt and looked like I was kind of glitching. And I don't know
Glitching.
if, yeah, it was weird. It was really weird. And it felt, for a second, I thought for sure that I thought I was gonna die. I
Like,
felt like I was being pulled in by myself. The not, I guess, the glitch or whatever. I mean, it didn't happen, obviously. At least I hope so. Uh,
no. And I'll pinch you. Do you feel that?
ow. Yeah,
Okay, you're
thank
alive.
you.
It's all good.
All right. Well, okay, no, I appreciate that. But no, it was rough. So I'm glad that you're coming too. I was thinking about maybe going to the house on Escondido Street, but I couldn't get the lake out of my head after what happened a couple nights ago. So
Yeah, that
when you had mentioned you were gonna go check it out, I kind of felt like I needed to jump on it, you know?
of course. I mean, even if I hadn't gone, you could have just asked me. Especially if something like that happened, you could just ask people to go with you. It's hard sometimes, but I mean, that's why we're all in this house together, right? So that we don't have to face whatever we're facing alone. I mean, I didn't think we'd be facing quite, all this, but I'm even happier now that, I didn't go alone here.
I think Topher blushes a little bit and he says, "Yeah, no, I appreciate that. It's kind of been tough for me to, I don't know, ask people for help sometimes."
I get that. I really, really do. But
Uh,
it's all right.
I think they reach in for a hug.
Yeah, actually, I think it like starts out as like a very sweet hug, and then it's like a little awkward. So she'll like lift over up and do like a little twirl to like sort of make it into a joke.
Oh wow, you're a lot stronger than you look.
Yeah, birds are heavy.
Oh, all
Are they?
right.
Are they though?
Some of them, sure. Equipment mostly, actually.
Let's check in on the move. I think for sure, Topher, if you want to clear both your conditions, you can, or you can clear one of them and take the feeling good condition from Ashley's thank you for being a friend move. It's up to you.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna clear displaced and replace it with feeling good because I like the narrative implications of the glitch in the lake.
Nice. And feeling good is kind of like a reserve of energy. You can clear it in order to get advantage on a roll. So
Yeah.
And Ashley, you get to stumble on a clue. Either connected to either mystery. You get to define the clue. So think about what it is. And we will come back. Sean, did you see something in the painting?
Yes, I think there is a boat in the painting that has never been seen before on the lake because it is an old tall ship.
Oh, how interesting. Okay. What a strange thing to just randomly paint, Nathan. How do you feel about that, Nathan? Did you even realize you were painting it?
Don't even think he realized he was painting it.
And I think as Sean kind of notices it, he'll step forward and say, "That wasn't there last time I was there."
What? Nathan kind
That
of.
with the sails and the mast.
Oh. No, it was not. Sorry, I did a bit of work on, it came out 2 years ago. You know the movie Treasure Planet?
Oh yeah, I loved it.
I had a brief, yeah, I mean really underrated, but I is brief stint at Disney before I moved to Warner Brothers.
Holy shit, Nathan! You're
what
like
haven't I talked?
famous.
No, farthest thing from famous, I assure you. I paint backgrounds.
Yeah, but everyone sees it. That's like a whole thing.
I mean, I guess that, yeah. I guess you're right. Right. No, yeah, I was maybe that was on the mind. I painted a lot of sails in the background ones. Not that shot used a lot of backgrounds. It was mostly CGI digitally painted. Never mind. Point being, sorry. Why am I apologizing to you? Nathan is now just kind of like flustered. Like he's like, what is happening? He is like, yeah, it's an anachronism. Who cares?
No, it's cool. It adds character because that lake fucking sucks.
Yeah, fucking blows. And you know what? I remember when I was going there, actually, he picks up his paintbrushes again and he goes, actually, I had a friend and we used to make up little stories. He's saying this while he's painting a little bit. He's specifically giving a little attention to the sails of the tall ship he's accidentally painted, because we actually used to tell stories that there were pirates on Deep Lake, which made no sense. I mean, it's New Mexico. Like, why would there be pirates here? But then I christened this the first pirate ship of Deep Lake, and he paints like a little skull and bones black flag on top of the main mast.
That is awesome.
Right on.
These are such cute scenes. I can't wait to get you all into the house on Escondido Street.
We have to front load the feeling good stuff now before things get bad.
Because it's all about to end. All right, good. I love it. I do want to fast forward to that, though. So the two of you have decided to go to the house on Escondido Street, Nathan and Sean. And Sean, Patience Head gave you the key last time, so you can just go in. And I'll just give you the lay of the land first, and then you can all decide what and how, or where and how you want to investigate. And there is the backyard area, which we've seen. There's the front yard where the trees are. We've seen that as well. There is a kitchen and dining room, small kitchen with a bar window that kind of looks into the dining room, that kind of style. There is a TV room. There is a master bedroom. There's Elliot's bedroom. There's Abigail's bedroom, the little girl. And there's the basement. There's no power, obviously, in the house at all. But it's daytime, so as long as you open some windows, you can see around well enough. Sean, what do you do?
First things first, he's going to check out that pantry and just he'll kind of like carefully approach it and then swing the door open quick.
You looking for something?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay.
The person Ashley said she saw was hiding in here, apparently.
Oh yeah, that's not terrifying at all. Great.
No one's here though. It's cool. It's all good.
Cool. Now that's on my mind. So great.
Let's talk about the kitchen and dining room. It is a small kitchen with a bar window that looks directly into the dining room. There's a Wedgwood blue trestle table. It's actually set for dinner. And there are oak cabinets and speckled Formica countertops. Let's paint the scene, everyone. Based on what was left out 10 years ago, name one thing that was on the dinner menu on the day the Rappaports disappeared.
I feel like meatloaf. It's got to be meatloaf.
What does it look like now, though?
Terrifying. It is just moldered and collapsed in on itself.
There's a side bowl of like fettuccine Alfredo that has like petrified at this point. Like the cheese is a veritable like forest of mold, and underneath of that is just like cement noodles that have just fully dried out and are just terrible looking.
I think that there are some leftover hot dogs from the backyard barbecue they were having that the kids were having instead of yucky meatloaf, but it now looks somehow worse than the meatloaf.
I think there are like knocked over soda cans and like 2 like glasses of wine that were like put there because it was fancy, but now like the wine has gone this awful color. There's just too many colors in it now, honestly.
Fantastic. Sean, if you're just peeking in the pantry to see if Mark is in there, then I'm not going to give you the meddling move. But if you want to do something else in this space, you can. Otherwise, you can go search another part of the house.
Oh yeah, I'll totally look around, see if there's any sign that someone was here.
Do the meddling move with, I'm going to say composure, actually.
Five.
5. Nathan, what are you doing right now?
I feel like Nathan, the first thing he does is he is just, when he walks in the kitchen, it's like sleeve up, covering the nose, like just, oh, it probably smells rank in here. I think with like terrified curiosity, just reaches for like one of like the wine glasses sitting kind of in the puddle of spilled dried soda and just has like tug it as it like peels from the sticky fluid. He just goes, right, have fun. And he's going to divert and look for a way to get down to the basement.
No problem. I'll give you your miss result in a bit, Sean. Let's cut over to Ashley and Tover. So you arrive at the camp, and I think you actually see Emily Beaumont. She'll stand out just because you've met her. And she is, let's describe her real quick. I think when you find her, she's sort of like dealing with a gaggle of summer campers. The kids they range in age from like elementary to middle school, basically. Emily herself, she has blue and purple dyed hair, kind of a tied up ponytail, a decorated vest with the Pine Rock Ridge logo across the back, and she's wearing big sunglasses. I'll remind you that she was friends with Jessica Stosky when Jessica Stosky went missing. She's now in her early 30s. She's just a little older than the two of you. And she kind of sees you both and she says, "Oh, hey, you decided to come look into this, huh?"
Of course, you asked our help. We're here to help.
Yeah, I guess it's
Yeah.
kind of I guess it's kind of weird for someone just to like roll up to your house and ask you to investigate the disappearance of their best friend, who may be a lake monster, according to local legend.
Well,
But
It's
well, you
more
know.
common than you would think, honestly.
I was
Yeah.
about to say the exact same thing.
I kind of like it.
No,
We're
it's nice.
the
Gives us a
crew.
reason to get out.
Oh,
Although,
can you hold on for 1 second? Hey, now remember, kids, pack extra snacks and water while you're on the trails, and always keep next to your buddy. That's what Piney Pinecone says. 2 and 2 stick together like glue. God, I hate that stupid rhyme. Okay, yeah. Well,
effective though.
you know, you've got the run of the place. I've already told the other camp counselors that you might stop by, and they think you're just here. They think you're here, like possibly thinking about applying to be a camp counselor if they ask. And so maybe just maintain that cover. But yeah, you can take a look around, and she'll kind of point out things to you as well, just to kind of tell you what is what at the camp. There are the cabins where the kids stay. There is Pinecone Hall, which is the mess hall, where the kids eat. There's a boathouse. There's Black Rock Beach, which is what we call the beach on this part of the camp, or this part of the lake by the camp. There's Blue Marsh Loop, which is a walking trail, which is where a bunch of the kids are getting ready to go walk right now, in fact. And there's the lake itself with a swimming pier, which is empty at the moment. So she just turned you loose. What do you both do?
I think before we go, I think Ashley will ask, you were her best friend. Is there anything else you remember from that night? Was she acting weird? Did she say she saw something strange? Even if you think it was like too strange to tell the cops, we're not cops. We're just here because it's strange. So don't hold back to us.
Yeah, if we were cops, we'd have to tell you.
Make the
Yes.
meddling move with presence.
All right. That's a 7 + 1, so an 8.
All right. Let me take a look at the clues and see if I want to just deal with this right now. Oh, okay. You're going to get your clue from her, but she's really busy with the kids. And so she says, you know what? Maybe if you want to, yeah, hey, don't do that. Don't do that. Oh, don't put that in your mouth. Come on now. How old are you? Come on. Hey, can we just talk it a little bit? I need to get these kids on the trail, maybe like after lunch or something. Come find me in Pinecone Hall, and we'll talk then. But thanks, I really appreciate it.
No worries.
And she goes off. Topher, what do you do?
I think that I'm gonna go and look for some of the other camp counselors, maybe one that's not so busy wrangling a bunch of children's, and see if they know anything about like more recent, I guess, sightings.
Yeah, no, that's good. Ashley, you also get to tell me a clue that you stumble on. This might be a good place to do so. So what did you find?
I think as we were walking here, Ashley noticed this and then would have notified Topher. Under all the bird songs was a melody that isn't native to these birds. And when we started paying attention to it, all the birds were humming Jessica's favorite song.
Nice. That sounds great. Somebody write that down. Topher, I think probably the person you might be able to find is, I mentioned that the swimming pier is empty right now, but it's actually not. You see a young man who appears to be like a lifeguard, who's kind of over at the pier dealing, kind of getting equipment kind of organized and stuff. Maybe coming out of the boathouse and walking over to the pier. You can kind of catch him in either place if you want. What do you do?
I think I'll walk up sort of more near the boathouse. I don't really want any kids to potentially overhear anything that might scar them.
Sure, yeah. Let's talk about the boathouse. The boathouse, there are kayaks and canoes stacked in neat rows. I think that's what he's doing. He's kind of hauling stuff, out for later on. There's a fresh coat of paint over what you remember when you were a kid, Topher, to be a very, very rusted building. And there are paddles and life jackets kind of strewn about. Let's paint the scene, everyone. What here indicates that the lax boathouse policies haven't really changed since the time you attended camp?
I think probably most obviously is the paint on this boathouse, even though it looks, it looks very shiny and new. Some of the paint has started chipping already from weather. And you can very clearly see that it is in fact the exact same old, even rustier boathouse. They just like to pretend it's new.
I think under one of the heavy cloth coverings, covering one of the boats, you can see just varying eras of pop cans and chip bags, showing everyone goes here to sneak illicit snacks still.
I think there is the like on watch kind of like lifeguard near the boathouse. There's like little paddle boats that kids can like take out into the water, and they usually have someone watching. But like that lifeguard stand clearly has not been used in a very long time. It is like somewhat kind of like falling apart a little bit, and you can just see kids just running around the area, just tipping over paddle boats and all that, and like kayaks and all that. There's not really anyone overseeing it.
Alone for a second, Ashley will like check if Dover is looking, go to a table, and it has like underneath the wood is chipped Ashley, and then like a year that she was in the camp.
Nice. The young man who is the head lifeguard, his name's Joey Keene. He has very well tanned skin, dirty blonde hair pushed back by a visor, and bright red, very short swim trunks. He sees you and he says, "Oh, hey, are you one of the people who are thinking about becoming a camp counselor?"
Yeah, sure am. Just kind of looking around, trying to get a feel for the place.
Yeah, cool.
I haven't been here in like gotta be at least 10 years, right?
Oh, are you from around here?
Yeah, no, I used to come here back when under different management.
Yeah. Well, this place has got quite a history. It's actually kind of surprising that they were even able to get it open back up again. The former owners were, I mean, I think there's probably a lot of judgments attached to this place because of those kids that went missing, all the lawsuits.
I know. Yeah. I was actually gonna ask about that. I was gonna ask if you heard like anything kind of, you know, recently about that sort of thing. 'Cause that was a big thing when I was here like
Well,
around the time when those kids were missing. So I kind of trying to like figure out a little bit about it. Has there been any lurker sightings recently?
look, Mr. James, Billy James, he's the new owner of the camp. He doesn't really like for us to talk about the Deep Lake Lurker, as you might imagine. Um, it's kind of a sensitive topic around here. I think he just wants to have a clean slate, just, put all that stuff in the past. There's no reason to dredge it up, even though some people like Emily insist on continuing to dredge it up.
Well,
Do you
she
swim?
was. Oh, me? Who? Not really, no. Something about being here when all of that was happening kind of don't really feel fond of getting into the lake after that, you know what I mean?
He's like, oh, yeah, no, I totally get it. I always tell the kids never swim alone. That's the first thing we teach. Never go off alone, even if you know what you're doing, even if you're a strong swimmer. I mean, we know that Deep Lake doesn't like to give up its dead, right? No need to add to the tally. I don't
Oh,
blame you.
absolutely. It doesn't. Does that rule still apply for grown folk?
Make the meddling move with presence.
Cool.
And I'm going to take a look at your conditions and see if one of them might apply. I think the glitch in the lake. I think as you're posing the question, I think that he keeps like kind of like blinking weirdly. Like he's receiving a signal, right? He's kind of just like blinking in a strange way, and he has to keep kind of shaking his head a little bit. So make it a disadvantage.
With a 3 and a 4 with my +1, that is an 8.
All right, we'll come back to that.
Or no, presence. I don't have a +1. I have a 0, so it's just a 7.
Okay, it's same difference. Fantastic. We'll come back to that in a bit. Ashley, where did you go off to?
Emily is still like busy wrangling the kids,
you're gonna have
right?
to go find her later at Pinecone Hall.
Okay. So I'll see Topher by the lake, but they seem to be doing fine, so I'm gonna leave her for now. What else was there? There's like a few other people.
There's the cabins where the
mess
kids
hall.
sleep. There's Pinecone Hall's the mess hall. You can certainly go there while it's empty. There's not lunchtime yet. And also the kids' cabins are empty right now as well. It's a good time to hit them if you're gonna do it right while there's nobody there. There's some other places. There is the swimming pier and the lake itself and the beach as well. You could go with the kids on a walking trail if you wanted.
Yeah, you know what? I think Ashley is like kind of into like, I know like the applying for camp volunteer is a front, but also Ashley's like, maybe
Right, yeah.
I can do everything.
I love it. We'll come
So
back
yeah,
to
I
that.
think she'll follow Emily to help a little bit.
Nathan, finding the basement's no trouble. There is I think it's like kind of one of those things where there's like a little like kind of slightly narrower door in one hallway, and then you open it up and that leads to a landing at the top of the stairs, and then you can kind of go down. Unfortunately, there's no power right now. So what do you do
Nathan
about the light
that
situation?
Yeah, Nathan opens the door, is on the landing, looks down the dark wooden steps, and just kind of like, without looking at it, just reaches over to like the light switch by the side, just flick, 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 and then he just kind of just sighs. Do we have a flashlight? Calls over his shoulder.
No, it's day.
Yeah, not in the basement.
Yeah, nope. Sorry.
Okay.
I think I want the day move if you try to go down without a light source.
I was gonna say like, yeah, well, I think the only thing Nathan does think of is he reaches into like one of his pockets and like he holds it and he looks at it like he's like, this is not going to work. And like the Tamagotchi light barely illuminates anything in front of him. That's not working. He's gonna not go down into the pitch black basement. He's gonna stare there for a little bit and wait until he can find maybe a flashlight lying around the house somewhere.
So check another part of the house, right?
Yeah. So I think he's gonna go walk over to the TV room instead. I mean, there's gotta be batteries in there, so maybe there's a flashlight somewhere. Like,
yeah, that sounds good. Let's talk about the TV room. The TV room. Switch mysteries here. There's a maroon sectional sofa. There's an entertainment center as big as a wall. And there is a VCR hooked up to a massive tube TV. Let's paint the scene really quickly. Looking around, how do you know this was the most frequented room in the house?
I think that there are 5 perfect butt indentations on the sofa that have still not been uplifted after all these years.
The carpet pile has been compressed, much like the couch butt impressions, showing just how often people were on their feet in here.
I think there's like a bunch of mismatched side tables and other things that have been like placed around so people could put drinks and food down. And it's like obviously in different stages that people were like, we need more of this. We need to stay here and put all our drinks and accommodate more people.
I'm not sure. I'm not quite sure if this is how dust actually works, but I'm going to say it is. There are things like the remote control, the buttons on the VCR, like, like the coasters that they probably have on a side table are clearly were touched so much that like dust has settled on them noticeably different, because like these were things that were held by human hands all the time, and so like the oils have caused it to be noticeable. Like this was a thing that was constantly in motion, like something was always being interacted with in here.
Sean? You close the pantry door behind you and turn around to answer Nathan about flashlights. Nathan goes off to do whatever Nathan's doing. After a distinct pause, and not going down to the basement stairs, by the way, Nathan goes to look somewhere else. And behind you, Sean, you hear the creaking of the pantry door. Just creaking open behind you. What do you do?
Well, I assume it's the wind or Nathan, normal things. So turn to see.
Patience Head, your good friend, is standing in the pantry. She has a slightly off look. Her helmet of brown hair is a little mussed. Her stocking is kind of slinked down her leg a little bit, like it's not being held up. Her dress is a little skew. She says, I met your friend.
Oh, Jesus, you scared that. Casey?
Mark. I met your friend Mark. He's so sorry about what happened to the two of you. He wishes things could have turned out differently. He was very upset, actually. I hope you don't mind, but I took a moment to console him. I held him close to my gentle bosom. He was very happy for my kind touch. Come into the pantry, Sean, and I will show you my kind touch too. Meanwhile, Nathan, there's no power in the house, but the VCR is flashing 12 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 12 o'clock. Let's take a 5-minute break. Ashley Oaks. You're on the trail with the kids, the Blue Marsh Loop. It's a well-worn footpath with wooden markers, names and lovesick woes intermittently carved into trees. And there's actually water licking at eroded rock and soil. Everyone, children and tweens come out here to escape the less than watchful eyes of camp counselors. What have they been trying to hide?
I think they're like hidden under like in a hollow log is like a stack of comics that is like a little bit above their age and got like a little bit of that provocative sexiness to it. That, you know, like their parents definitely doesn't want them to be reading. But like Ashley now, she's like, oh, I thought I was so cool reading those, and they're like so tame. They're like not cool at all.
I think that some of the older kids have made a little Deep Lake Lurker shrine.
Thinking every couple of steps underfoot, you'll compress a like little hotel fridge size alcohol bottle lid into the dirt.
Brain is not working. Hold on.
It's
I
okay.
think, yeah. So there is off the immediate trail, you can like kind of like see it off, and there are like a bunch of like sticks and branches have been turned into like a small hut, essentially, like this little dome that you can crawl inside of. And inside the hut is, you see like little things like friendship bracelets and like children's love notes, and you know, like the do you like me, yes, no, other, you know, kind of things. A place, but it's all very grimy, and so like it's the kind of place that people go to like be friends with, or maybe even talk to people that publicly they're like not, you know, trying to socialize with. Yeah.
Ashley, a kid walks up to you. I think maybe he's actually crawling out of that little hut. And it's a boy. He's got finger paint under his nails, and he's carrying a basket full of rocks and leaves. And he has a disposable camera around a lanyard on his neck. He's really young. He probably looks like the youngest kid you've seen today at the camp. And he points at your binoculars around your neck. I assume you're wearing your bird watching binoculars. And he says, oh, are you a birder?
I am. Are you?
Well, I don't go hunting for birds, but I do go hunting for creatures.
Oh, that's even better.
Creatures
I mean,
that aren't
birds are
birds.
dinosaurs. Yeah, I mean, birds are dinosaurs, which is already pretty cool, but creatures even wilder. And I'll take them off. Do you want to have a look? I think I heard something.
He's like, well, the thing I'm looking for, you can't see it during the day. Sorry.
Oh, cool. What are you looking for?
I'm looking for the Deep Lake Lurker.
Really?
Yes,
Have
really.
you found anything yet?
Well, not yet. I've got this camera though. I've been saving my film just to get a, I'm going to get a picture of it, and I'm going to take it and I'm going to show it at show and tell. I just got to, I got to sneak out after dark and just, sneak out after dark, and because that's when he shows up, or it or her or whatever the Deep Lake Lurker is, and then take a picture just like that. I just got to make sure I don't wake anybody up, and and also not fall asleep before everyone else again.
Yeah, that's the hardest part, isn't it?
It is.
Uh,
I'm Daniel.
Hi, I'm Ashley. I sort of feel compelled to tell you that it's dangerous to sneak out at night, but I also know that that's like a stuffy grown-up thing to say. So whatever, you're not gonna listen to me. So maybe if you don't fall asleep, we could meet at a secret place, and I'll point
He says,
at the hut.
are you a camp counselor?
No. Do I look like a camp? I probably do look like a camp counselor.
He says, well, I think it would probably maybe not be the best idea for me to go out at night and meet in the middle of the woods with somebody who I've just met, an adult who's not a camp counselor.
True.
But
True.
do you know anything about the Deep Lake Lurker?
I know so many things.
It's like, okay, well, I heard that the Deep Lake Lurker is actually, I heard it's like a dragon, like an old dragon,
Hmm.
but its wings stopped working. And so it just fell asleep in the crater. And then it rained and rained and rained. And over the course of like millions of bajillions of years, the water rose and covered him up. And I heard that the people that he takes down into the lake, he doesn't eat them, but he engages them in philosophical discussion. I don't really know what that means.
Wow. That is really cool. I heard that it's a titan from like way back when Zeus was on the world, but he was trapped there. But he really misses his love. So he started crying, 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 and that's the lake. And that's why he like wants company.
You could not fill an entire lake with someone's tears. That's just not realistic.
I beg to differ, but I'm very glad you've never been sad, Daniel.
I've been sad.
Oh, really? Well, that's awful.
I don't think so. My mom says that it's really important to address your emotions. Like if you're feeling a certain way, well, you just go into your bedroom and you sit and you process it and you think about it. And then you think about why the thing that's making you sad or angry or upset is doing that. And then you put it into a little tiny room in the back of your mind. You close the door in that room and then you turn the key and then you never think about it again.
That, wow. I wish your mom was my mom because my mom did not say that. It was sort of immediately to the lock and the key and don't talk about it ever. I'm really glad that your mom and you is doing such a good job with your emotions. That's really cool. Have you got a picture of the dragon yet?
Not yet, but tonight,
Tonight.
I don't think it's a dragon, by the way. That's just a story.
Not really.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a pretty cool story though.
I guess so. It was nice to meet
Can
you,
I-
Ashley.
Can I have a look at what you did capture yet?
Well, the film's not developed yet,
All right.
but if you want to go get it developed and then buy me another disposable camera,
Yeah, sure. I'll do
okay.
that.
And he gives it to you. He's like, I got to catch up with the group.
Thanks. You do that for sure.
Be careful.
You too. Stay emotionally healthy.
And
I think she just has that look of like, wow, I was not like this kid. I got humbled by this child.
I love it. Let's check in with Topher real quick. So Joey Keene, you got a mid result, right, on your roll, Steph?
Yeah.
Okay. He says, listen, I don't really we're not supposed to talk about Mr. James doesn't like it when we talk about the lurker, and especially doesn't like it when we specifically mentioned Jessica Stosky. But, you know, people talk, and especially in Degoya County, stories have a way of just, you know, taking on a life of their own in a way. Listen, there's something that people talk about around here. They did back then, and they do now. Now that the camp is open again. I don't know what it is, but they talk about something called the sunken ceremony. Yeah, weird ritual stuff going on in Deep Lake. Imagine that. I
Like
mean,
some sort of hazing thing?
I don't know. I mean, you know Deep Lake, though. I mean, ever since old man Rodenbecker murdered all those snakes back in the 19th century or whenever it was, we just have people around here have a fixation with rites and rituals. It's weird. I don't know if it's
Yeah,
connected to the lurker or
kind of
not,
noticed that. Yeah.
but maybe somebody was snatching those kids and, like, you know, sacrificing them or something, drowning them in the lake. Who knows?
Yeah, man, man, that's rough. If all of that was for some like weird hazing ritual,
I don't know. And at this point, Topher, across the way, back over by the tree line, maybe, I don't know, a few hundred yards away, you see a man leaning against the tree. He's the biggest man you've ever seen, tall and wide, wearing a yellow suit and a cowboy hat, smoking a cigarette. And when he sees that you see him, he takes a drag on his cigarette and raises his hand and twinkles his fingers to say hello. What do you do?
I think I kind of quizzically cock my head and wave at him, turn to Joey. I'm like, so who's Mr. 5x5 back there?
He turns and he looks, and he gets kind of like a weird expression on his face. And he says, "Hey, I'm really busy. I hope you like your tour of the camp." And he goes and grabs a kayak. And meanwhile, the man over by the tree, he starts to beckon you over.
I think Topher kind of looks around, looks behind them, does the whole like, me? Shrugs and starts walking over, kind of muttering under his breath. Yeah, super busy. Busy enough to have a chat for about 10 minutes.
Indeed.
And starts walking over to the big man.
Sean Thompson. Patient's head. Everything I've described happens whether you turn a key or not. And per the rules of the game, whenever the house in Escondido Street plays on your conditions, you take another condition called haunted. So do that. This is what happens if you don't turn a key. She says, "I want to touch you, Sean, just like I touched Mark. I want to get to know you. I want to understand you." And she raises up a kitchen knife, a chef's knife, and she says, "I want to get inside you, move things around a little bit, see what makes you tick." What do you do?
Well, I guess I'll turn a key.
Very good. Instead, you just shake your head, blink, and there's nothing there in the pantry after all. Maybe it's just your mind playing tricks on you, or maybe you're haunted. What do you do? And I owe you a clue as well. I'll give you the clue right now. Something on the shelf. On the shelf of the pantry. A sack of Reese's peanut butter cups. Certainly spoiled at this point. But also a few little orange Reese's wrappers on the ground, making a little trail that you didn't notice before. That's your clue.
Great. I think Sean would very quickly kind of note that and just start backing away and say, "Hey, Nathan."
Sean.
Yeah, coming. And just walk very swiftly toward wherever Nathan went to.
Nathan's kneeling in front of the VCR in the TV room, and he's like, he looks when you enter. He's like, I thought you said the house had no power.
It not electrical.
What do you call this? Points at the blinking 12 o'clock light on the VCR.
Really good battery. And
No,
who can
he tugs the cord that it's plugged into the wall with.
Do you unplug it?
No. Actually, I think he does. Actually, I think he will unplug it.
When you unplug it, the 12 o'clock is still blinking.
I've been doing that for 3 minutes.
I need you both to make, well, not you, Sean, because you just saw something worse. Nathan, I need you to make the day move. What do you afraid is going to happen if you don't keep your cool here?
I think he's gonna kind of go into freak out mode of just like the paranoia is gonna hit him like a truck.
I love it. Go ahead and roll with composure.
Yeah, sounds good.
Let's see if you have any no, you don't have any conditions.
That's a 6 + 2, 8.
I have to tell you how you'll be vulnerable if you want to proceed in the scene. You'll be vulnerable. I'm going to give you the condition frightened. Otherwise you can just leave the house in Escondido Street right now and avoid the condition.
No, I'll take the condition.
So keep the scene going.
Keeping what I said. He unplugs it, plugs it back in, unplugs it, plugs it back in, visibly stressed out by that.
It might have some kind of, and Sean's going to try and just pull the VCR out.
Yeah, it's not plugged into anything.
Sean's going to press eject.
Oh, very interesting. Make the meddling move. With composure.
6.
We're gonna die in this house.
It's not looking great. We'll come back to this. Ashley, anything else you want to do on the trail? You haven't really investigated yet, but you do have this camera though, which is interesting. You can maybe follow up on that later.
I think for now, I think Ashley is going to sort of like, because we heard the bird song earlier, so I think Ashley is just going to sort of start looking around at the environment. If there's anything strange, is that shrine doing anything? Just, maybe there's something here that could give me a clue.
Yeah, make the meddling move with reason.
That is a 9 on the dice, and I believe I have a 1. Yes, so that would be a 10 total.
I love it.
Just to rub it in.
Let's see what you might spy as you're looking around. Here's something. You spot with your binoculars what looks to be, at first, maybe like an egg that's fallen out of a nest, Or no, maybe it's like just a rock. Wait, no. It's a finger bone partially buried in the dirt. That's your clue. Topher. This enormous man who, as you get closer to him, his enormity becomes even more apparent. And as you get like right up to him, the top of your head barely reaches his shoulder. And you are engulfed by his shadow so much that it actually feels cooler as you stand next to him, even though it's a bright sunny day. And he says, I really admire what you're doing here in Deep Lake, looking into TV Odyssey. It is a very interesting inquiry.
You read the blog then, I guess?
No, no, no. I ain't much one for newfangled technology. I have a gift for you.
Oh, well, that's ominous and flattering in equal measure. Thank you.
He reaches into the pocket of his creamy yellow coat. He's far too overdressed for the weather. And he pulls out an Odyssey tape.
Oh.
You recognize it with the purple clamshell and the neon decorations on the insert. He says, I believe you in particular will find this tape rather intriguing. The name of the tape, if you look, written in marker on the side, is Astral 09 Pyramid Passage Pure White Contact.
That is certainly a mouthful.
Yes. Well, I hope you find the contents of it most edifying.
I'm sure I will, Mr.
Oh, my name isn't really that important. I'm just a sort of a local eccentric, you might say. Or perhaps I'm not local at all. I suppose I'm something of a wanderer, because that's what I do. I wander. I observe. I remember. And I tell stories about the places I wander to, about the people I see. I'm going to tell a story about you someday. You can be sure of that. I wonder what kind of ending it will have.
Hopefully a twist ending. Those are my favorites.
Mine too. Mine too. You enjoy the rest of your stay in Deep Lake. Come find me. Let me know how you get on with that tape.
I think I will, Mr. 555.
He takes in the dragon a cigarette and walks into the tree line.
I think he kind of just puzzles over the Odyssey tape for a while
Indeed.
before looking to go find Ashley.
Sean and Nathan, you hit. Oh, you're trying to keep it together, right, Nathan? Did you roll?
I
Yeah,
rolled.
you're-
I
yeah, you
have a
roll it.
condition. Yeah. I
You're
think
keeping it
it's
together. Sean, though, you got to
Right.
miss, right? On your meddling move.
Did.
Yeah. You hear from down the hall where the bedrooms are. 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100. Here I come.
what the fuck?
What do you both do?
Looked at Sean. Why'd you do that?
Do what?
Press eject.
He's just gonna give Nathan a look and put the VCR back on the shelf.
I'm just gonna do we hear like someone's coming this like down the stairs or something?
No, you just heard the counting. You didn't actually hear any
Okay.
footsteps or anything.
Thank God. I was like,
And it was coming from like bedroom
The
directions.
bedroom direction. Yeah.
Sean's gonna start going in that direction.
why are we going in the direction of that? Nathan is following him still, complaining the whole way. Like,
Would
Why
you
are we
rather
doing-
it catch us?
I don't exactly rather anything at all about this. I would oh fuck. Okay, sure. Can I like is there anything in the house that Nathan can just like grab defensively in front of himself just
Yeah,
in
it's probably like
case?
a table lamp or something, right? Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I'm holding a table lamp.
Sean, there are 3 bedrooms. The master bedroom, Abigail's room, and Elliot's room. The doors are all open, so you can glance in and see what's what pretty easily.
Okay,
What do you do?
You wanna take that one? I'll look in that one.
Maybe we don't split up. Did the voice sound feminine, masculine?
Well, it was a kid, so it's hard to tell because
Mm.
little boys sound like girls too, right? So,
Let's start with the closest door.
the closest is probably Elliot's room. I will describe it for you briefly. It's a twin bed with Ninja Turtle sheets. There's a large poster of Bill Nye the Science Guy, significantly faded. There are matchbox cars spread on the floor like caltrops. Let's paint the scene. Oh, there's no paint the scene here. My bad.
Okay.
There's a
see any
closet.
kids?
There's a cabinet, or there's a closet, like a little wardrobe, or like a, not a wardrobe, like a dresser drawers. There's a little desk.
Do you see any kids, or he pokes his head in as well? No. Empty.
Do the cars look like they've been moved recently? In the dust?
I-
Ooh.
Make the meddling move.
Yeah, well,
Oh.
he's doing that. I feel like Nathan still a little bit, very much like frightened, but just seeing a pretty mundane room, a little less on edge. He's gonna like walk in, kind of carefully, still holding the lamp down by his side, and just goes, "Well, I mean, if anyone's bound to maybe have a flashlight in this old place, it's gonna be a boy." And go to open the closet and like look through, see if he has like any, like a child's flashlight in there or something.
When you open the closet, this is a paint the scene. Something about the energy in the room changes when you open the closet door. What do you see or otherwise experience that makes you think Elliot is still in the house somewhere?
Oh, I hate that. Okay. Yeah. So, I think there is a slight breeze for a moment that, could be, just, air, just mundane. But like something like falls out of the closet, like it's like a ball, like, like bounces and like rolls across the floor. And Nathan's like, oh shit. And then like moments later, the ball bounces back into the room as if someone threw it back out of the hallway into Elliot's room.
Sean, what makes you think Elliot is still here?
The sweaters and winter gear at the very back of the closet shift slightly, and we hear the scrape of hangers on the bar.
Steph and Jazzy, anything about the environment you want to add that shows how the energy in the room changes?
I think that Sean and Nathan can very faintly hear a child singing 1, 2, buckle my shoe, 3, 4, knock at the door, and then the closet door starts knocking.
I think there's like a Furby in the room, and immediately like that wide eyes blink open and it goes like, mommy, feed me, I'm hungry. And it just like keeps repeating it like over and over again.
I think your Tamagotchi starts going off too, Nathan.
No. No.
Beep, 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 beep.
Like
Once-
Nathan is like fumbling because his hands are shaking because he's immediately frightened by that, pulls out his Tamagotchi and like, what is going on?
One more thing. Sean, if you poke your head out into the hall, you see a little boy. A bowl haircut, neon green t-shirt. He's peeking around the corner from the living room area. And when he sees you, he like kind of like hides again. And then you hear his footsteps running off. And you have a new question available now. The new question is a complexity 2. How can we lure Elliot to us? The opportunity is you will unlock Elliot as a reward. I will add that to your mysteries sheet.
Yeah.
And
Sean, how are you doing?
Yeah, and I think that is probably going to be maybe enough for the two of you to leave at this point. I don't know if you would hang out much longer, but I'll let you decide.
Importantly, did I think it was Ashley who found, or no, it was Nathan who found the photo album, right?
Well, yeah, I it's in the basement.
He's gotta go to the
ready
basement,
investigate. So I've
yeah.
been looking for like a flashlight, something to get down there.
But would you have shown the others the picture? Would Sean recognize this kid as Elliot?
Oh,
Yeah, yes,
probably.
you would recognize him
Yeah.
as Elliot. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I had a copy of the book because it was in the library. I probably described the Rappaports like from that I saw. Any chance before we flee from the house that I could quickly rifle through this haunted closet for anything that might be useful?
You can do a meddling move. Go for it.
Sure. I'd like to do one of those.
It's going to be a disadvantage, but yeah.
Yeah, super is. With what score? With what skill? Or what
Composure. Yeah.
ability? Composure. Okay, I'm good at that. Yeah, I'll roll a disadvantage. All right, that is 8 + 2, 10.
And do I owe you any clues right now, Sean?
No, I got a miss
You got a
on
miss.
whatever
That's-
stat, on whatever ability it is.
I
Yeah.
actually, you know what I think I'm gonna do? I think that I wanna, give us a little extra of a helping hand here. I'm gonna turn a key to turn that into a 12.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Well, let me give you your clue first.
Yeah.
The clue is intriguing. Written on the wall, on the high shelf of the closet, written on the wall in crayon, is a sequence of numbers. A long sequence of numbers. You can take a picture or jot those down, but that's your clue. But also on the shelf, there's an Odyssey tape. Your eye goes straight to the purple plastic. The Odyssey tape, written on the spine. The title is Blam 03, Everybody Blam.
Nathan is going to snatch that and look at Sean like, holy shit.
Sean doesn't turn. He's just staring at the space where Elliot had been and said, holy
Sean,
shit. Yep. Okay. Go. Let's go. Let's
yeah.
go.
Yeah. Okay. Go.
Indeed. Ashley, where'd we leave you?
I think as Ashley spots that finger, she
Yeah.
will approach, and I think I want to see, like, is it just a finger or is it still attached to a hole?
It's just a finger.
Okay. Then I think she'll go like, okay. Fuck it. And she'll take a handkerchief or like something, and she'll snatch the finger up and she'll take it.
Indeed. And I think at that point, Emily Beaumont, you'll kind of hear her like, or she'll kind of jog up next to you. She'll say, "Hey, oh, what'd you
Hey.
find? Old arrowhead or something?"
Yeah, ornithologists were always looking around. Everything is exciting to us in the wild, right?
Yeah, I guess so. Well, the kids are about to grab some lunch, so if you want to meet me in Pinecone Hall, we can talk about Jessica a little bit.
Sure. Yeah, that sounds great. Hey, I just want to say that I think what you do is really, really nice. Giving these kids a lot of good memories.
Oh, thanks. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I know that the whole camp counselor thing is just a front for figuring out what happened to Jessica. But if you're going to be around for the rest of the summer, I could probably get you a gig here. It's easy money.
Yeah, might be nice. Never happened when I lived here, so maybe I can make up for that now.
So, how do you feel about Sloppy Joe's?
Great. Amazing.
All right, that's good. All right, let's go grab one. And she will assist you up to Pinecone Hall.
Mm-hmm.
Topher, what do you do after you're done having your conversation with the Wanderer?
I think he's gonna kind of blink and rub his eyes a couple of times. Not entirely sure if that was some Deep Lake shenanigans happening and she just found the Odyssey tape, or if that was like real. And she's gonna try and track down Ashley and show her the hall.
Yeah, you can meet up with Ashley and Emily and head over to Pinecone Hall. That sounds like a good thing. I'll give you all that scene in a moment. Nathan and Sean, as you are coming out of 18 Escondido Street, still needing to come back at some point as you're coming out of 18 Escondido Street, you are perhaps surprised to see the sheriff He is a relatively young man, square jawed and handsome. He smells really good, like Old Spice and Big Red gum. And his little khaki uniform shirt is very strategically tight in the chest, I would say. And he says, "Hey, fellas, you two look
Nathan
like
is
you saw a
still
ghost."
holding the desk lamp. He's still holding the desk lamp.
It's like, this is not a whole, this is not a breaking and entering situation, is it?
No.
I mean, because you could
Sean
probably get a
will-
couple of bucks for that down at the pawn shop, but I hear the place is cursed, so you might want to be careful about that.
Is it possible that this sheriff is the former lifeguard
The former lifeguard of Deep Lake
that saved Sean's life?
Oh, I like that. Yeah, let's do
That's
it.
really
Because he's a little
cool.
older than you both, so yeah. But not
I think
much.
Sean will be kind of looking at him like uncertain, and he'll just hold up a key and I got a key.
He's like, "Oh, are you are you a friend of the Rappaports, or did Debbie send you over here?"
Debbie.
Yes,
Debbie
Debbie.
Rappaport? Yeah. Well, I heard like a high-pitched yelp, like a little dog or like a small child, and I just wanted to investigate that sound. Was that one of you?
Yes, that was me.
You have quite a falsetto to you. You ever thought about getting into singing or performance or something like that?
No, I was just kind of a late bloomer. Sorry about that.
You look
Sean's
familiar to Sean. He's like, "You're not from around here, but I feel like I've met you before."
I am from around here, actually, kind of.
Well, but not, you don't live here now, though. I know everybody in Deep Lake.
No, it's been a bit. Did you go to the camp?
I used to work at the camp, yeah.
No shit. Were you a lifeguard?
Well, sometimes. I mean, I was a camp counselor that did lifeguard duty every now and then.
That's me. I'm Sean. Sean, the kid. Uh, shit. Yeah. No. I almost drowned. I think you stopped that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. I thought I recognized you. You filled out a little bit since those years.
Yeah.
But in all the right places, not like,
Sean is just steadily turning redder and redder, and he'll say, "Are we in trouble, Sheriff?"
No, you're not in trouble. Listen, I'm going to turn a blind eye to whatever it is you two are doing here. But, if you or anyone else gets into some kind of trouble, just give me a call. And he gives you like his little county business card.
Yeah, we should probably get this key right back to Debbie, right, Nathan?
Yep, right on back to Debbie, who we know.
Could you, I'm a little turned around here, could you maybe point us in Debbie's direction? Sheriff?
Yeah, she's 3 houses down that way. Are you too sure you're okay?
We were startled by errant Furby.
That can happen to you. I get it. Yeah. All right then. And he kind of takes his hat off and rubs his hand through his hair and then puts it back on. Says, just be careful, all right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Yes, sir.
All right. You can see from his card that he is Sheriff Bill Hanscom.
Yep. Great. Nice talking with you, Sheriff. Come on, Sean, let's go talk to Debbie.
Yes. Debbie.
In Pinecone Hall, all the kids are, there's big long tables where they're kind of sitting down to eat hot dogs and sloppy joes or whatever dietary restriction foods some of the kids have to have. Long tables with stackable chairs. There are actually prayers hung up on the wall with a mixture of faiths represented in these little prayer scrolls and posters. There's an overabundance of fish decorations everywhere. And there's an open air deck that actually hangs over the lake that's abuts the dining space. I think it's this outdoor deck area where Emily and the other camp counselors take their lunch kind of away from the kids. She says, so have you both enjoyed your time at Pine Rock Ridge today?
I did. I only went to the camp once. Parents didn't really like me going away too much, but this was really fun. I met Daniel. He's so much. He's the most, and I love that for him.
She's like, oh, Daniel Kwan. Yeah, he's a lot. But he's a good kid.
He really is.
Yeah, he's got has he ever did he tell you about that kind of like that sort of emotional processing thing he does?
He did. That's really neat.
Unless you're watching it happen, but yeah, it's neat in theory.
Ooh, is it like really awkward when it happens?
A little bit, yeah, a little bit. He's a weird kid,
Oh.
but that's okay. That's what this place is for.
It
It's so that
is.
the weird kids can figure out how to be not weird with the, all the kids just sort of level out with one another in the end. Well, at least you hope they do. Well,
I think that's great.
so Jessica, listen, you asked if I remembered anything from that time, and I do, actually. It's not something I've thought about in a while. But the night before Jessica went missing, she and I, well, we had a swim in the lake. We went out to Black Rock Beach and we're just doing a little bit of nighttime swimming. And we saw something in the water. It was a light, but not like a small little like light that maybe like a fish was giving off or something, or a bit of moonlight. It was like an enormous light, like you've ever seen those like movies like Close Encounters, like big spaceship lights. It was like that. It was like a light down in the water. And we got out and it was too late for us to say anything to anyone about it. Everybody was asleep, but the next day Jessica was gone, and I honestly, that overtook all of my thoughts for that summer, and I kind of forgot about the light. But maybe it's important,
Yeah. Don't worry, that happens. Sometimes when, scary things happen, we forget about them for a while until we feel safer. Thanks for telling us now.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I had a question too, actually. There's so is that big guy, that like real big guy, does he normally come around here?
Big
He didn't give me a
guy.
name. I sort of just called him Mr. 5x5, kind of based on that old song, you know.
No, I don't think I. I mean, I guess I don't know. Lots of people come through here. It's
Fancy like jacket, coat, and stogie. Nothing.
sorry, it's not ringing a bell.
You'll know him if you see him for sure.
He sounds like he stands out. I think
Oh.
as we'll kind of wrap up the scene, maybe we're seeing the kids like, they're kind of sitting down, they're eating, you all have your food. The lake is a really lovely day. The lake is nice right now. It's kind of glittering in the sun. But let's paint the scene. The food that's being served here to the kids seems a bit nutritionally suspect. What's on the menu today?
There is some of that like fruit cocktail with marshmallows in it. That, healthy fruit choice.
Pure sugar.
Dinosaur chicken nuggets that seem a bit too wet in the middle.
It's soggy dino nugs. No.
The big dispenser of orange juice is almost completely transparent, just a little tinged orange.
And I think there's also, I feel like there's got to be mac and cheese, but like just really yellow, just overly yellow mac and cheese.
Indeed. It's a lovely day on the lake. Sean and Nathan. Debbie's not home, but you know where to find her when you need to.
Well, we knocked.
Yeah. Let's I don't know.
Yeah, I think we should go back to the house. Not that house. Not that house. Our house.
But like, this is why we're here, right?
No, yes, this is why we're here, but I would like to, Sean, I'm holding a lamp, okay? I'm not exactly with it at the moment. Okay, up until about 30 minutes ago, I never believed in ghosts. And what I just saw back there, I'm pretty sure was a ghost. Ghosts, plural.
Yeah. Okay. Should we just leave the lamp on the porch?
Do
you want to take the lamp? If you
I'll
want
just
to take
bring,
the lamp, that's fine.
It's a cursed lamp. I'm just gonna, he walks like away from Debbie's house, just to like the street corner, just sets the lamp down just in front of somebody's yard. Like maybe they'll think it's for sale, who knows. Then he'll just kind of be like just pacing, like walking towards the car and just pacing while pinching the bridge of his nose, just kind of like, trying not to freak out. Doing a good job of not freaking out, but very visibly trying.
So the house is haunted. We knew that's what people said, right?
Okay.
And ghosts are just they can't hurt you, right? Because like we're okay. We're okay.
No, there was a lady a few days ago. You and Ashley were here. I went to the library speaking with the librarian. She was saying a lot about ghosts not being ghosts, but being signals. And that was fucking weird. Can we get in the car? Sean, can you please drive?
Yeah. No, I can. Yeah.
And I feel like on the drive back. Oh, okay.
Oh, go ahead. No, go ahead.
I think it's on the drive back, if it's all right, Nathan would just kind of talk a little bit more. I kind of want to answer one of my Dawn questions and get a.
Okay. We'll come back to that.
That's good.
Yeah, we'll come back to it. Ashley, as you and Topher are leaving the Pinecone Hall, you see some kids at the water's edge, skipping stones across the water. You brought stones for that purpose. Do you join them?
Ashley will look at Topher first and says, "It's okay if you don't want to, but it's kind of tradition." What do you
I
think?
think the ripples will probably make it so that then I'm not gonna get too spooked.
All right, just let me know if you want to bail or if I need to beat up a lake. I can probably
Yeah,
beat
no,
up a lake.
I'm more worried that a bunch of children are gonna make fun of me for being scared of water.
Oh, well, kids make fun of anyone. That's like, you know, that too is tradition.
Yeah, yeah. They kind
All
of
right.
pat the jacket pocket with the rock and walk up to the lakeside, very pointedly not looking at the water.
Show me your skill. And Ashley will skip some stones.
Yeah, Topher's gonna pull out the nice rock that Ashley found them and kind of sit down next to one of the kids. Hey, you mind showing me how to do this? I don't think I really picked up too well when I was your age.
They have their own rocks, and they'll do it and show you, like, little kids never pass up a chance to show their expertise and explain things, right, the way kids do.
Oh, absolutely.
Um, and do you then skip the rock yourself?
Yeah, I think she kind of takes a deep breath and tries to flip that rock in there.
It skips pretty far. You get a good like toss. It hits the water once, twice, 3 times, and then a hand reaches out of the water and catches it and goes back under.
Topher shrieks and starts running towards the Rodenbecker house immediately.
Topher, you take a condition called the next victim. It cannot be cleared until this mystery is resolved.
Ooh.
In the car, go ahead, Nathan.
I feel like they're kind of driving in silence for a minute before Nathan's sitting like he's like hunched in the car seat with his feet up on the dashboard, kind of planted firmly next to, on both sides of the glove box, and he just kind of goes, okay, so I wasn't exactly being like the most truthful when I said that I don't believe in ghosts, or I didn't believe in ghosts. I do believe in ghosts. I did. Fuck me, sorry. I was a kid, and there was went over to my friend's house, and he kind of like takes a deep breath and like will straighten himself up in his seat and just go, up until very recently, I did not believe in ghosts. However, when I lived here, I had a friend, and he's not here either anymore, so it doesn't matter about that, but just he and I were at his house, and he told me that his house was haunted. Oh, it was an older house in town, been here since back in, I don't know, a while. I didn't really look into it. And so he said, there's like a game we can play. It's a ghost game. And I'm thinking, I'm 11, it's fun. It's cool. And we go down into his basement, where he shows me this kind of weird old, just junk they had. And he says, if you knock twice and then 3 times and then once more, the ghost will knock back. So he did it, and then I did it, and nothing happened. Obviously, nothing happened. So I was like, oh no, the ghost's not here. And we went back, played, just one of those things. And when I was at home later, I was painting. And you can tell that I like to paint like that. And I painted the thing we were knocking on. It was this old vanity. Just painted it. It looked cool. Practicing with some paints my parents got me for my birthday. And when I went to bed, I woke up in the middle of the night. Kind of didn't sleep very good as a kid, and I heard a knock. And it was coming from my painting of the knocking game cabinet. I've never burned a picture before, but I did. And I have not thought about that until today.
I think as Nathan is talking, like Sean is a very deliberate driver, hands at 10 and 2, eyes always on the road. And I think he'll kind of pull the car up in front of the house on Rodenbecker Street and say, I can't get a hold of my boyfriend except for when he's called me and said weird stuff. And Ashley thinks she saw someone who looked like him in the house. He might be dead. So I think I believe in ghosts too. And if you are seeing things, saw things, you know, it's all fucked up, but you know, this place is fucked up. That's why we're here, right?
Yeah, I just don't think I, thought about how fucked up it might be. But you're right. No. For what it's worth, Sean, I don't. I mean, I don't know. Why did I say that? For what it's worth, I don't think your boyfriend is dead. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know.
I think we will
No,
end
yeah,
the
he's
day
probably fine.
phase there. Let's end the day phase. Let's get our dusk done really quickly. You have 2 tapes. You're going to watch one tonight?
Well, I want to.
I feel like I, the player, want to, but I feel like Topher, the character, is absolutely busy being terrified to watch something else scary.
I think Ashley was planning to stay at the lake at night to take pictures, and I feel like maybe we should try to solve a mystery. But I also do want to watch a tape, so I'm honestly fine either way.
Yeah, I think I'd like to, if we can, maybe answer at least part of the house on Escondido Street.
Yeah, it sounds like other people want to do other things, and then I'm fine with not watching a tape tonight and maybe getting a flashlight for the sake of dark place exploration.
I mean, as an option, you could watch a tape at Escondido Street and continue searching the house.
Yes. That sounds horrible. Let's do that. There's a working VHS.
There's a working
tape.
there's a working VCR.
I feel like Nathan would have 100% told. I mean, Nathan and Sean probably would have told everybody about that. And yeah, I feel like we gotta watch it if we can. Nathan's not enthused about it, but I mean, he wants to.
I think Topher agrees. He's kind of like, yeah, no, the farther away that I get from the lake at this moment, the better. So I agree.
Yeah, the lake sucks.
Lake sucks. Sean says the person who almost died in it. So then is everyone going to go to 18 Escondido Street and watch a tape in the TV room of 18 Escondido Street, where the only
Sure.
thing with power is the TV and the VCR?
This super feels like to me one of those instances of where like Sean and Nathan relay what happened to them to Topher and Ashley, and it's like, this sounds like a terrible idea, but at the same time, this is what we're here for, and
This
like
is what you're here for.
You
Yeah.
got-
this is a
Gotta.
weird thing. We gotta.
Yeah.
You gotta.
I think
Um,
this time let's pick up popcorn instead of brownie mugs.
Okay.
Anybody want meatloaf?
No,
Ooh.
don't accept that. No, don't accept that.
do we want to try to answer a question, or I mean, you've got on Escondido
Five.
Street, you've got
Yeah.
6 clues or 5 until you get the last one. So it's you don't have a lot
We
unless
could-
unless you want to figure out how to like lure Elliot to you. That's something you could do.
I feel like that's the more pressing question of like we straight up found a ghost. Like
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think
We gotta
I
get a
think
ghost.
I think we can try and answer that.
Okay, well
Mhm.
then, so who has a idea? I mean, it's only a complexity 2, so you don't need many clues here.
I see a couple of easy ones. So I can kick things off. I'll say that I think the series of numbers written in crayon in Elliot's closet is a clue we can use. The Reese's wrappers is a clue we could use. And if we wanted some bonuses to the roll, I could see. Yeah, I mean, at least those two make sense for Elliot.
Can we use house corner of the house items for answer a question roll?
You bet
'Cause
not.
if
No.
Right.
Yeah, you can never get a bonus, an advantage or disadvantage on
thought
this
so.
roll.
Mhm.
So I mean, you can use it in the fiction, but it just doesn't, not mechanically,
Yeah.
it doesn't apply.
Yeah,
Okay, so
that makes
give me
sense.
the Reese's peanut butter cups might be pretty easy because that's just like,
It's
maybe
Elliot's favorite candy.
Elliot's favorite candy or whatever. But what would the numbers have to do with it?
For how to learn out to us, that's a good question.
Well,
Yeah.
I think that something that could be cool is Topher has a paper with a bunch of random numbers written on it in their corner of the house. What if some of the numbers are the same, and like when Topher sees the numbers in the closet, they kind of just start repeating the same numbers, and like eventually Elliot kind of starts repeating them too and walks out.
I actually got. I
Something
want
along
to
those
further
lines.
deepen that. I think what if the numbers written in Elliot's closet are like, I know it's like an older thing, but like the like old like like kid shows doing like the whole like the ciphers. Like if you've bought our
Mhm.
product,
Oh, yeah.
like you can use the like this cereal box. Use the special thing found in your cereal box for the cipher, and it was like from his like program that you can translate and kind of use as this touchstone for him as well.
Like we both had the same cipher, and
Yeah.
so yeah, I love that. That's awesome.
So then when you run the
Yeah.
numbers to the cipher, what does it tell you?
I think I think that this cipher says queuing into that the lawn decoration contest with the photo. I think that the cipher says what happened to my other sister.
Oh, that's good.
Mhm.
Okay. So the
And that-
candy and then like talking about the other sister will lure
Yeah,
Elliot
like we want to
out.
help him find like his other
Yeah.
sibling. Like we're here to help.
Mm.
Maybe.
We
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say if we want one more, I think maybe the smashed mirror could be like that's maybe how he can teleport or like manifest, and that's why they smashed it at the library because they don't want him there. He's like banned there. So if
Oh,
we
so you
put
can
like
see him.
a
You can
really
see him
big
in
mirror,
mirrors. Yeah, you can see him in
yeah.
mirrors and
So
stuff.
if we
Oh,
like
that's
put a
pretty
really
cool.
big
Yeah.
mirror, he can communicate
Or
to us.
alternatively, ghosts don't like reflections either. And so we'd have to cover all the mirrors like
Oh, that's
they,
pretty good too. Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
I like
yeah,
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I like
Okay.
that's
that.
cool.
So that implies that there was a ghost in the library that
And they love it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Alex, why don't you roll it? It's +1.
Okay, let me. Oh man, my dice luck has not been awesome. 11.
Is
Okay,
it?
very good.
Yeah, no, it is +1.
All right,
Like it.
awesome. That is answered, and that means you can make contact with Elliot as you wish. And indeed, when the mystery is finally resolved, you will be able to keep making contact with Elliot as a reward. But that's neither here nor there for now. Let's keep going with our phase. So everyone's watching a tape. That's great. I think we'll just we're watching a tape, and we'll just kind of play it by ear what you all do as you're watching the tape in between pausing and playing. Which tape though?
Ooh, we do have 2.
Yeah, your options are Astral 09 Pyramid Passage Pure White Contact or Blam 03 Everybody Blam.
I'm thinking since we're on a pretty heavy Elliot thing right now, we're doing Blam because it's a tape we found in his room.
Yeah, that sounds good.
All right, so Blam 03 Everybody Blam is the one we're doing. If you want to take a look at the Odyssey Tapes tab, and we will go ahead and make assignments there. Everyone does paint the scene. Option 2 will be, or prompt 2 will be Jazzy. Prompt 3 will be Steph. And prompt 4 will be Alex. So that is all assigned. Let's keep going here. Do we have any unresolved key prompts from today or last time? I can't remember if we had any extras.
No, I think I
Not
just
from
marked one
last
today.
time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Do we have any from today?
I marked one today.
Do you want to do it now, or do you want to wait till the end?
I'll wait to the end.
Okay. And let me go ahead and introduce the Odyssey tapes, and we'll take a little break so you all can think about your prompts. Blam 03 Everybody Blam. This tape holds an episode of Blam, an educational show for kids. It features a rotating cast of blammers who participate in short book discussions, cooking demos, performances, interviews, and more. There's something else here as well. Whenever you watch, I gotta find this. Whenever you watch an Odyssey tape in the TV room of the house on Escondido Street, you get to collectively define a clue based off something you see in the tape. The clue can be used for any active mystery. And so think about that as well. What clue you might find in the tape related to either mystery. We will take a 5-minute break, think about your prompt and what's going to happen, and be ready to narrate when we get to your part of the tape. And we'll come back and do the night phase. See you in 5. It's nighttime at 18 Escondido Street. The only light in the house is the glow from the television and the flashlight Nathan brought. You put in the tape. You press play. The episode opens on a cavernous black room with giant colorful letters spelling out Blam in the background. The Blammers introduce themselves through a cheerful song. Each child says their name and strikes a pose. Take it away.
One of the boys with very faint eyebrows comes riding in on a bike and leaps off, does a little roll, and as he stands up, his head is a little squat, little too wide, his eyes a little too big, and he says, "Hey, I'm Leo." And then the camera pans to the next kid.
I think that a cheerleader comes cartwheeling in from the side, and as she does so, she kind of stops right before giving her introduction and side eyes Leo, and the camera kind of follows that, and we see that there is just this big bulbous pulsating mass on the side of his neck. And she says, "I'm Clara."
A younger boy comes hopping in on a pogo stick to the beat of the song, and kind of keeps pogoing as the song's cycling to them. Eventually hops off of it and like runs up to the frame and is like, "I'm Scotty." And then like Leo is just standing right next to Scotty, just smiling at him unceasingly. And Scotty's just sitting there in his pose with his thumb pointing at him, trying to look only at the camera, but occasionally keeps looking over at Leo with increased distress.
The last kid, this cute little girl, 2 braids, does a little twirl that says, "And I'm Jessie saying hello." And the camera pans as they all kind of like hold hands, and we see Jessie's hands going to Leo, and then like on the 3rd time grabbing it, just very quickly doing the bow.
Oh, Leo. Okay, good. We pause the tape there. Well, so are we making preparations to lure Elliot to you in the middle of this, or what's everyone doing right now? Nathan going down to the basement? What do we
Yeah,
think?
Nathan's going down to the basement.
We'll start there. Nathan, you take a moment to go down into the basement while the tape is paused. maybe that's an excuse to not have to stay down there very long, right?
Yeah.
And your flashlight is bouncing left and right in this otherwise completely dark stairway that you're going down. You get halfway down when you hear in the darkness, "Here I come." Meanwhile, Sean, what are you doing?
I think Sean will be turning around every picture or mirror, anything with a reflective surface other than the TV, to try and make it as matte as possible in here.
Yeah, Ashley, what are you up to?
I think I'm just, like I bought way too many Reese's. I'm unwrapping some. I'm eating one. They're good. Whatever, you can stop me. And I'm just like setting it up as nicely as I can for Elliot.
Topher?
Topher is, I think, he has his laptop up and he's writing the day's blog post, but is also, I think, incredibly like nearly shoulder to shoulder with Ashley. Still pretty jarred about the day's events and kind of moving around the Reese's cups on the floor in little patterns.
Nathan, you've been saved by the bell because it's time to restart the tape. You don't have to go any further down into the basement after you hear what you hear. We hit play.
Well, everyone, it's time for Blam Talk. Here we are going to discuss an audience question. The camera pans over. The audience sits there with this painted on smile almost, and somebody asks, "Are you ready for Blamorama?" And the camera pans back to the cast, and they're smiling that same smile. And then over the applause, as the question is asked, you suddenly hear like, just like these inhales of breath as they're trying to keep smiling. And the MC of the show kind of goes like, "Well, are you ready for Blamorama? Jessie, why don't you answer? You've been training so hard." And Jessie goes, My turn? But I thought, Leo? No, Jessie, it's your turn. Come on, aren't we excited? I'm going to need a full show of hands. And the kids kind of sit there, and then their heads go like they're being pulled up, and they're physically trying to strain back. And then everybody lifts their hands, and EMC claps again and says, "Yes, we're all so excited for Glamorama. Come on, Jessie." She pulls Jessie up and says, "Time to go off now." And Jessie is like, somebody else comes and is like taking her by the hand. It's like almost like a dad walking with a daughter, and just see Jessie just like, and then that's the last we hear.
We pause the tape. Nathan, you're going to make a second effort in the basement.
Yeah, he grabs a kitchen knife from the kitchen this time around.
Indeed. Let's talk about the basement. There's the smell of sawdust and rat droppings invading your nose. You can see stacks of U-Haul boxes down there, and there's a disassembled Christmas tree in one corner. This is a question just for you, Nathan. Looking around, something about the basement makes you think the kids were terrified to come down here. What is it?
His light settles on the boiler. And then he kind of, thinks he sees like something and shines it around the side. No, just his imagination. He is kind of looking around the room, and the light passes over truly how many sharp, rusty metal corners, from shelving to machinery to piping. Like, this looks like it would be easy to cut yourself in down here. This is not a safe basement, and the floor is damp and easy to slip on.
Sean, Ashley, Topher. I think you had set some Reese's out like a little trail. And down the hall where the bedrooms are, just outside the nimbus of light that you have available to you, maybe somebody has another flashlight or your cell phone light or something. Just outside that little bit of light, you can see a little hand reach and grab one of the Reese's and then pull it into the darkness. I need to take a look at your conditions. Sean, Ashley, just the two of you. No, Topher as well. I want all of you to make the night move to keep your shit together right now. What are you each afraid is going to happen if you lose your nerve?
Topher is afraid that this hand that's coming out and grabbing the Reese's isn't going to be Elliot's, or rather that it isn't Elliot's, and that it is whatever's trying to drag her to the bottom of the lake.
It's worse than that. You will be dragged to the bottom of the lake. Sean, what are you scared of?
That it will be Mark, and proof that Mark is a ghost.
It's worse than that. It will be Mark and Patient's head. Ashley, what are you scared of?
I'm going to keep it a little vague because it might go into spoiler territory, but I am afraid that it's going to make me remember things that I don't want to remember.
It's worse
A
than
deja
that.
vu of sorts.
It's worse than that. Those things will manifest physically. Let's get dice on the table. Well, we'll come back to get dice on the table. No, let's do dice now. Let's see how it goes. Everyone, tell me what you rolled with composure. Probably with disadvantage for, definitely disadvantage for Topher and Sean. Ashley, you're off the hook as far as that goes.
I'm gonna go ahead and clear feeling good and roll flat. for this
Okay,
one.
roll flat. Go ahead.
My luck is holding up. It's a 12
All right.
total.
Well, that's a 6.
I got a 7.
Ooh,
Oh, 8. My first success.
oh my goodness.
Ashley, as your benefit from getting a 12, I will let you help Topher keep it together right now. So what does that look like? Well, I think we'll get it after the next pause, but I'm going to deal with Sean right now. Sean, you might as well turn a key because I'm going to give you a condition. So
Right.
he is turned. You all keep it together as well. Topher will in a bit. You just hear the Reese's being unwrapped in the darkness. And then you hear it's being eaten. You hear a smacking of lips. Let's go watch the tape again. We hit play.
So the camera, after Blam talk starts fading away, we see a whiteboard that has the word Blam game written on it. And beneath that says hot potato. And hot is covered in like little dry erase fire drawings. And as all of the Blammers circle up and start kind of sitting down, getting ready to play the game, we can see that all of them, except for maybe Leo, are pretty scared about, not even necessarily scared so much as anxious. The ball is just a simple red rubber kickball, and they start passing it around. As the first kid passes it, there is a very shrill, rhythmic beeping sound that comes off from off camera. And as it keeps passing around, the ball keeps moving from child to child, faster and faster. Kids their eyes are growing wider and wider, and their breath catching and hitching ever so slightly as the ball comes to them. This sound screeching in the background intensifies and eventually reaches a crescendo as it stops on Clara, the cheerleader from the first, where we saw her cartwheel in. And she is horrified. She looks next to her, both sides. Leo's on one side, and Jesse's on the other. She starts panickedly screaming and trying to drop the ball, but it doesn't. The ball starts pulsating similarly to Leo's thing that he has on his neck. And as she screams, we see that orb start climbing up and consuming her almost. And by the time that her shrieks are drowned out, this goo is washed off of her, and there are 2 Leos sitting there now. And the new Leo looks at the camera and smiles and says, "My name is Leon."
Nathan, back down in the basement after the tape is paused. So, where are you looking for your clue here?
I'm walking over to the window that lines up with where I was supposedly kneeling down in that
Yeah.
old picture, like reaching for something.
If you scan the ground near that window, you'll get your clue.
Shining all over the place.
It's down down by that window. Actually, we'll say it's on the sill, like right there on the window sill. There's a copy of The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
He kneels down and like picks it up. Just opens it and like flips through the pages randomly. Just
It's your copy from when you were a kid. It was checked out from the library, and your name is the last one on the little card.
I'm gonna pick it up and make my way back upstairs.
Topher, because you got a miss, tell me how you were negatively affected by just seeing Elliot's hand grab the peanut butter cup.
I think that she starts hyperventilating as the hand reaches out. She can swear that it looks exactly like the hand that reached out of the lake and grabbed the stone that she hasn't even checked if anyone else saw because she's been too busy trying to not think about it. And she starts kind of like backing up until she hits a wall and starts just curling up into a ball. And he's just kind of softly sobbing.
Ashley, what do you do to comfort Topher? You have that option from your 12.
Yeah, I think immediately, like sort of as that starts to happen, because they were already very close, I think Ashley will just like gently put her hand on his hair, and if they allow, like take one of your hands and like hold it close to her chest and just like very deliberately and very slowly breathe in, breathe out to sort of like remind you to just breathe and do that.
They slowly look up from their head kind of clutched in their one hand. And they look into your eyes and nod and they just whisper, "Did you see the hand too at the lake?"
Yeah, it's okay. It's just tricks of the light. We're gonna be fine, Topher. We're together.
He smiles and a tear kind of falls down his cheek and he nods and just kind of puts his hand back over his head.
Sean, you can hear Elliot eating Reese's peanut butter cups in the dark hallway. And eventually he speaks, his mouth gummy with chocolate and peanut butter. He says, "Do you want to play a game with me?"
Sean will kind of look back at the others wide-eyed and yeah, buddy. We yeah, we can play a game.
I'll ask you, Ben, what game does he want to play?
I think he wants to play with the Matchbox cars.
Good. Little car rolls out of the darkness and hits your shoe. Let's gather for the last time to finish the video. We press play.
The title card for this segment is formed from kind of junk art, wiring and old glass beakers and little tools that decoratively spell out Blam Lab, complete with little arcing lightning toys off to the sides. Two kids enter wearing lab coats, holding these glass beakers that are filled to the brim with a dark, sludgy, slightly bubbling liquid. They look down at it with complete impassivity, bring it to their lips, and begin to drink it at the same time, slowly, gulp after gulp, until they swallow every last drop and examine the beakers in front of them. Only a slick, greasy brown residue is left on the inside. A third child walks into frame, and they're holding a bin that is just overflowing with more of this dark sludge, and they begin to dilute it into all the various beakers and glasses that they have. It becomes very evident to anyone watching. You don't see any of the kids from the introduction of the show. These are new kids, not introduced. Their names aren't explained. And they begin to work on the black sludge, and the camera slightly drifts as if there's no operator to support it, rotating on its stand. And off to the side, off of the set, is a brightly lit, almost sterile white environment where you see Leo on a upright sitting table. His head has grown to almost dwarf his tiny child body, still smiling, and his eyes rolling in many different directions. And other kids are putting in tubes that are draining this black sludgy fluid out of his head. And Leo just looks directly at the camera that says, "I'm hungry," before the camera cuts to black abruptly.
Let's never watch that tape again, shall we? And I think that we'll just call the night phase there. You've made contact with Elliot. You've got your copy of The Lion, the Witch, of the Wardrobe. Everything is cool. You do have to define a clue, though. Why don't we do that? What clue was there in the tape?
Can I have one tiny scene?
Oh, sure. Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
As Sean picks up the Matchbox car and then rolls it back toward wherever it came from, look down at his fingers, and he's got this black grease. It's this gunk, and wipe it on his jeans.
Nice. Good. I like it. Fabulous. Well, there was a clue related to either mystery, either of you that you all get to sort of come up with now as players, or you can think about it and tell me next week. I'll leave it up to you.
I might have one, but we could also pick something else. I put in the name Jessie, as in short for Jessica, and the clue is that Jessica was in an Odyssey tape, and she went off to do the Glamorama, but we don't know what she did. So maybe that was somehow related to.
That's a good clue. Yeah,
I like
she was
that a
part.
lot,
She was.
Yeah,
She
that's
was
awesome.
Jessica was on Blam. Yeah, that's good because it was a local production. So there's that makes sense. Great clue. All right, fabulous. I love it. Let's take a look at our phases here. Yeah, let's do Dawn. Dawn questions. Have not resolved a mystery yet, but that's okay. Ashley, did you go out of your way to reconnect with Deep Lake? I would say so, the way you handled your nature scenes today. Were you vulnerable with someone? I would say with Topher, probably, and even Emily to some degree.
Yeah, I think in an Ashley kind of way, I was kind of vulnerable.
Yeah, you can take those. Nathan, did you receive a signal from the other side?
I was doing the Furby, the I'm hungry with Leo.
Oh yeah, very good. Were you vulnerable with someone? Oh yeah, I think in the car with Sean. Yeah, absolutely.
That's both of my questions here. I think are answered with that car moment.
Yeah, your chilling monologue about something that happened to you in the past. Yeah, I love it. That's great. Topher, did you go out of your way to reconnect with Deep Lake?
Yeah, I feel like he really tried with the skipping rocks and it super didn't go well.
Yeah, absolutely. Were you vulnerable with someone?
She was very vulnerable with Ashley
Ashley. Yeah,
this whole session.
I
Yeah.
agree.
Kind of his rock.
Sean, did you receive a signal from the other side? Oh, there at the end you did, right? The sludge.
Initially, I was going for Leo being like a Ninja Turtle from Elliot's Sheets, but that went in a
That went
completely
a totally different
direction.
direction. Yeah. That's the beauty of it though. I kind of sensed what you were doing, but then I saw what everybody else was doing and I was like, oh, I don't think that's gonna hold up. I love it. Did you go out of your way to reconnect with Deep Lake?
The reconnection kind of came to him with the sheriff.
Oh, the sheriff. Yeah, I'll take it though. Because you leaned into it a little bit. Were you vulnerable with someone?
Also in the car with Nathan.
Indeed, indeed. Fabulous. Everyone did a great job on XP today and on questions. Key prompts. Who owes me one?
I got one.
Read it to us and then do it.
You go first.
All right. A flashback showing your latchkey kid routine whenever you got home from school. Nathan would come in through the front door holding his backpack over one shoulder, pull the key out of the lock, close the front door, lock the front door. Very mundane. He'd walk into the kitchen, grab a glass of maybe milk, just kind of drink that idly. And he would walk upstairs, just, the house is completely quiet. And when he gets up to his bedroom, you can see that he has a lot of painting stuff in here, a lot of art supplies. He's not have a TV in his bedroom, but he would kind of set his backpack down by his bed, opens his closet door, begins to pull out little bits of canvas to roll out that, on his little stand and start, getting art supplies fully set up nearby on his little end table. And he would pull a Walkman out and slide in his favorite tape at the time, which was a cassette version of Jeff Wayne's musical War of the Worlds, and play that and start painting depictions of alien tripods and what other things just are conjured up in his imagination until the sun just gets a bit lower in the sky.
Thank you.
I think we see Sean coming home much like Nathan, key in the lock, locks the door behind him, and chucks his book bag on the ground in the living room and just crashes out on the couch, grabbing a controller, and we see him playing The Legend of Zelda as the sun sets outside. And then we see again, it's a little further in the future. Sean's a little bigger. The house is a little decorated. But when Sean comes in, he drops his bag at the door and leans against it. He has a black eye and he leaves the bag where it is as he walks through the house into the garage, and we see a makeshift gym that he set up. And he pulls off his sweater and gets on the bench and just starts doing a press.
Thank you. Are there any other keys that need to be done? Okay. In that case, let's just go to debrief. Stars and wishes. Stars are things that you enjoyed about the session. Wishes are things that you hope to see next time when we meet again. I'll go first today. I loved this session. The session was amazing. The character connections were so good. The nostalgic moves were terrific. Just the bonding between, because you all kind of paired off, and that was great because it was kind of different pairs from last time. And so we kind of got to see you just sort of bonding with those characters with each other. It was really, really terrific. It was very fun. I loved your interactions with some of the like locals, like the stuff with Emily, with Sheriff Hanscom, all that stuff was really Daniel. That stuff was all really, really good. Big Man. I loved all of that. The scene in the car with Nathan and Sean was terrific. That monologue was really great. Alex, I love that a lot. The horror was really fun. Like it was really fun to do. And I feel like it was like time. I was like, okay, good. We've had all these like nice, cute scenes. Now it's time to like do the thing, you know? And so it felt really good to do. All the stuff with Elliot, great fun. And the tape was terrific. The tape was amazing. How fucking horrifying. Like it was like, oh yeah. Good stuff. All around great time. Wishes. I just, very excited to see what happens. I have not made a decision about the third mystery yet, so I'll be kind of excited to do that. And yeah, so that's where I'm at. But good stuff all around.
I have a star for Sean's response to, I thought you said this had no power. Well, not electrical. That was so good. That was incredible. I loved that. And just Ashley and Topher's interactions throughout the whole thing, like Topher's pretty shut off, I feel like. Like they don't like necessarily talking about all of the weird shit that's happened to them. But I love that Ashley as a character is such a calming and like open presence that it kind of brings that out of even more like reclusive characters. Which kind of also leads into a wish. I am excited to see how Topher and Sean interact because they feel both kind of more reserved to me in a way, like in similar but different ways at the same time. Like Sean feels more like an extrovert that wears a mask, whereas Topher is a complete introvert, And I am really excited to explore that like dynamic. And I absolutely love the painting horror with Nathan that's going on. It's one of my favorite tropes in horror, painting like premonitions and paintings and stuff like that. Oh, it's so juicy.
Yeah, I got a few stars. Star for Jazzy. Ashley is so complicated, and well, because like last session, like she was very like upbeat and friendly and very positive, and like this session like really just revealed the cracks in that facade of like there is something deeper beneath her that is like she's clearly burying down far. So like that was really like that really shined today. It's like Ashley's this really cool complicated character, and I'm like so excited to see where that goes. Jason, you're terrifying. You're terrifying. Scared the hell out of me. That was great. As always, that's just the general Jason Cordova star, I think. And then so Steph, Mr. 5x5 is so freaking funny. I love that. That whole conversation between the big man and Topher was awesome. I love that a lot. And in general, the whole like the lake vibes, it's so creepy. The lake vibes between like Topher and Ashley, and also Ashley talking to like Daniel and like getting schooled by an 8-year-old basically was amazing. And then for Ben, Sean. So it's like my expectation of Sean's character when you made him is very different from the Sean we're getting, and I love the Sean we're getting. Like Sean is this big, he's kind of like a teddy bear. And having him be like, we were dealing with some messed up stuff in the house, and Sean constantly felt like he was this character Nathan could feel comfortable around. So like the way that like I really love the interactions between Nathan and Sean so far. So like that was really solid. That was like Sean's a great character. And specifically when it comes to dealing with the complicated relationship your possibly dead boyfriend has with a specter. Who knows? My wish, I have 2 wishes. First wish, I love Odyssey tapes. I want to do a night phase where we don't watch one and like do some dangerous nighttime exploration of some of our mysteries. And then my second wish, I cannot wait for all of us to take an advancement and see what we pick next and see where our characters move.
I have in my star list the interactions with Ashley and Daniel. The interactions with Ashley and everyone were just so great. I love Ashley's character, as has been pointed out. I'm really looking forward to seeing more with the keys of the child, seeing more about what led Ashley here, not just where she's going, but where she's been. That'll be really fun. Topher's exploration of the lake, dealing with Mr. 5x5, just brilliant stuff. I love the vibes you bring to everything that Topher touches, and that scene with Ashley and Topher was so good and so sweet, and I look forward to seeing that maybe get tested a little, and how the two of them will grow or not from that. Big Star also, as like I was only in the Odyssey tape for the setup, and the way that the 3 of you took things in all sorts of just incredibly fucked up directions in the best way. I loved that as a viewer today. That was a lot of fun, really great. And yeah, Nathan is such a fun character to like. He seems more, despite the fucked up ghosts of his past, he's definitely playing the kind of the straight man role in this haunted house experience, and you're doing it so well. I love seeing him see the boundaries of how he viewed the world get expanded, and yeah, I look forward to bouncing off of that some more. And so no real solid wishes, just more. I think yeah, not watching an Odyssey tape would be an interesting, see, because our days have been perfectly safe and non-traumatic, so let's go tonight, it'll be fine. Actually, Star, for watching the video in the house, I can't believe we did that. I love leaning into the genre and ghostiness. It was such a stupid thing, and it was great.
Yeah, for me, my favorite Sean line was when Aiden was like, "Do you have a flashlight?" And Sean was like, "No, it's day." Like, I don't know why that cracked me up so much, but I love the fact that like Sean was like, "No, it's day and it's gonna be light even inside a house." Like, what a silly thing to ask for a flashlight. That cracked me up. I love that line, and there was just like so many great Sean lines today. Yeah, as been said by everyone else, I love how at the same time Sean feels so like stable and confident, and at the same time you just feel that like sadness and loneliness is kind of like radiating. And I think that's just like such an amazing balance that you play. I want to give him the biggest hug. I'm so mad at everyone who's ever heard him. How dare you? For Nathan, the painting bit, I was like, no, I cannot handle this. It's too good. I hate it. I love it. Because it's like, it's the buildup and you know what's going to happen. You know what's going to happen. And then it's like that jump scare where you're just waiting and then it happens and it still scares you. It's still horrifying. It's like somehow even worse because you've been anticipating it. And I really love that whole buildup, how you like portrayed that so realistically as like telling the story. I also really like all these personal glimpses that we're getting with you, like in the back of the house and going to the basement alone, like all that. I think that's very, very interesting. For Jason, as you said, I think you just had like that perfect timing of being like, we've had our cuteness, we've had our fun, time to die now. Like time to be horrified. I think you just like hit that note the exact right moment of, and then it like, for me, it like hits so much harder when horror happens to characters you actually kind of like, and you're invested in not being terrified and horrified and bad things happening to them. So I think like letting us get that lead up and then switching is really, really great. Also, I adore Daniel. He's the best. I want him to be real and I want to talk to him every day because I need him to school me on how to be emotionally mature. That was just great. And I really loved that it was an interaction with Ashley so that I kind of got to show a few of those cracks where it's like, you know, like when she's compared to other people, maybe she's not doing so well. It's just that she's found herself in a very particular situation, right? And everything with Topher was so adorable. I loved Steph, like how you played that, like coming out of your shell just a little bit, but not too much, and like that very sweet, awkward feeling of somebody who's not used to maybe getting so much like positive reinforcement, being like, okay, I think I can do this. It's fine. And then of course it's not fine, and everything went horrible. So I'm very interested in seeing how all of that develops. Just so many, it just every interaction felt so great, felt like a movie. It just felt perfect. For wishes, yeah, I guess I hope I can curse my dice so they start rolling badly and I get to turn some keys. I'm really excited for that, and I'm really excited to just start showing the cracks in everybody and going down that road of, why are you here? Why are you doing all these terrifying things? Oh, and also very interested in the sheriff. I love it. I need more of Sheriff Handsome, as I'm calling him.
Yeah, he's great. Fantastic. Any other stars or wishes? Okay, then let's end with a trip back out to the desert. In the middle of a circle of standing stones in the desert is our TV cart and our television and our VCR. Hands enter the frame. We don't know whose hands they are, but they put a tape in the VCR. It's an Odyssey tape. And the label says El Paso. When the image blinks to life, it's the big man, wide, filling the screen as before, hunkered over his little table, and he flips a tarot card from his stack, and it's the moon. And he says, I once beheld a red moon. It was blood red, like a bullet hole in the sky. And then I looked all around me, and I saw dead things in the earth rising up to witness this bloody moon, or perhaps to worship it. And the veil between worlds, between different realities, between different dimensions, between the lands of the living and the land of the dead, was as thin as I'd ever seen it. It was gossamer. It was mist. I could press my finger into it and feel its feverish yielding. But the red moon was neither cause nor symptom. It was an augur. It was a sign of things to come. What signs in the land will we find in Deep Lake, I wonder? What will those omens portend? screen blinks off, leaving a hot white dot.